Hey everyone, welcome back to the gathering. I'm Dr. Tanisha Allen, and I'm so excited to have you here for another episode. Today we'll be talking about healing the little girl within me. Yes, I think this is a much needed conversation, and today we're just going to get vulnerable like we always do. So here on the gathering, this is where the spiritual meets the vulnerable. This is where healing meets the spirit. And I'm so glad that you're here with us for another episode. But before we get into it, I just want to remind you to continue to like, share, and comment. Make sure that you're hitting that little subscription bell so that you will be one of the first ones to be notified each and every time a new video drop here. Listen, I know it's been a while. I've been busy. I've been handling some things, but I have some great episode that is coming to you very soon. Listen, in this episode, we're going to be talking about how many of us are carrying grown-up responsibility, but inside there is still this little girl who never felt seen, protected, or heard. The truth is, what we don't heal in childhood shows up in our adulthood, in our relationships, in our self-worth, and even how we see God. In this powerful episode and a vulnerable one, as I always say, of the gathering, we are going deep into the hidden childhood wounds that shapes the woman we become. We talk about this little girl inside who learned to survive, who stayed strong, and also stayed quiet. But now God is calling her into healing. This episode is an invitation to step into This episode is an invitation for you to surpass the pain and start surrendering it to God. God doesn't want us to just heal the version of us. He wants us to. This episode is an invitation to stop suppressing the pain and start surrendering it. God doesn't just want to use the healed version of you. He wants to meet the hurting child within you. He wants to hold her and make her whole. Listen, this episode is going to be great. Make sure you grab your sister. Make sure you grab a friend. Make sure you grab your church group, whatever it is. Make sure you grab a group of women. We're going to talk about it and we're going to heal the child within. Let's get into it. One of the very things that I had to get used to when I was going into my healing journey is going back to the past, right? A lot of times we do not like going back to the past because there's some painful things that has happened in our past and also some things that sometimes we don't even remember until a certain smell, a certain name has been called, a certain scenery is being called, or we were taken back to a place where we grew up. Listen, I had to go through a healing journey that understood that I had to not only heal the little girl, but protect the little girl and acknowledge this little girl. And that wasn't always an easy thing for me to do. I'm just being honest. A lot of times as women, we think that because we have gotten into adulthood, we have surpassed the pains of our childhood. And that is not so. A lot of things that we are doing in repetition is because we're trying to still protect that little girl. A lot of things that we're yearning for, a lot of our desires is because it's coming from that little girl that is within us. Let me give you a story. When I was younger, as I've said it many times here, I don't know if this is the first time that you're watching the show. And if it is, thank you for coming on. And I hope that you will continue to be with us into this community. But as a little girl, I was essayed by a minister that I trusted very much. If you go back into my last episode with my spiritual mother, I talked about that in great detail. The episode that's called Shame. Even though it wasn't the first time it's happened, and it wasn't even the last, that time left a great mark within me, and I'm actually really not sure why. But within that, I realized as I was growing up, I had picked up certain habits, and I deal with both mother issues and father issues, right? So growing up, I started to do some things that I didn't really know it was me protecting that little girl until I got a phone call that this same minister was arrested. Now, by that time, I was already married. I was on my second child, um, and it took that phone call to not only unravel some memories, but to expose the pain that was within me that I was hiding. Um, my ex husband at the time, he saw some patterns that I thought was normal. So we had daughters. I had my first daughter, and I was pregnant with my second daughter. But I didn't trust anyone with my daughter. And of course, that's just a mother, right? You think that's just Mama Bear just protecting her. But I went through odd ends to make sure that my daughter wasn't touched and nobody wouldn't touch her. I couldn't sleep. I would have these weird and wild dreams. And it took that time of revealing, right? It took that time of my world come crushing down. Because even though he was arrested, not because of something he did to me, but something that he did to some other young girl that was very similar to what he did to me. And at that time, I felt like because I never spoke, I wasn't able to protect those young girls as well. And it also exposed the habits. It also exposed how much I didn't trust men. It also exposed so many things that was within me. And that was a time that I had to learn that I had to go back to the 13-year-old me and make sure she's okay. Even now, I have to acknowledge that I'm still in this healing journey. I was telling my cousin just a couple of days ago, I went to a place and I knew I wanted to be in this place, right? The place wasn't unfamiliar to me, but as I was driving, I was feeling these emotions. And I didn't know why, because I really wanted to be there, right? I really wanted to be in this place. And when I pulled up, and I parked my car. It was like these floods of emotion. And my first thought was just go home, you know? And I was just like, I was really considering if I should go home because this uncontrolling um, feeling to run was inside of me. And I had to sit back in my car and I had to just take a deep breath and I had to tell myself, like, Tanisha, you're safe. You're okay. Everything is okay. And sometimes we have to do that. And that is a way that we acknowledge this young girl that's within us. We have to tell her, listen, you're safe. You're not 9, you're not 5, you're not 13, you're not 15, you're not 16. You're not that little girl that no one ever protected. You're not that little girl that didn't have a safe person to tell that you were hurting or hurt. You're not that little girl that is now in a safe space. You are a grown-up woman that is protected, that is safe, and that still could be vulnerable, but heal at the same time. And so I just want you to go back into your memory and think of some times or some habits or rituals that we have. What has created it? What has allowed those habits to surface? Some things that we do to protect ourselves, some of the anxiety, some of the fears that we have. Where did it come from? And most likely, if you think about it, it came from that time where a thought came into your mind that you were not protected and fear was able to creep in. Trust me, I lived it many times. I speak to so many women and I realize that a lot of times they want healing, but they avoid the parts of their life that really needs to be healed because of course it's painful. No one wants to unearth a old pain, especially something that had happened years ago. But when we're going through this healing process, we have to understand that, hey, we have to acknowledge it, but we also can't avoid it. We can't avoid the process that it will take to heal. And we have to understand that in this process, we're going to be unraveled. We're going to be emotional. We're going to be undone for a couple of days, a couple of weeks, even a couple of months. But in the end, there's an end goal to it. And that end goal is healing. Everyone has a little girl in her. Everyone has a little girl that is yearning to be whole. And that little girl is crying out for your help. And a lot of times, her unheard internal cries is stopping you from becoming everything that you need to become. So listen, I want you to stop this episode, press pause. I want you to go grab a pen, grab your phone, right? And in your notes, I want you to write, In your notes, I want you to write this question down, and I want you to think about it. Press play after you write it down, but write this question down because I want you to think about it, and I want you to journal about it by the end of today, because I want you to I want it to marinate into your mind so that we could go through this healing journey and to find some kind of clue, solution, or a starting point so that we could heal that little girl crying within us. Here's the question: what parts of me stopped growing when I got hurt? What parts of you stopped growing when you got hurt? I know the part of me that stopped growing when I got hurt was the part of trust, the part of fulfillment, and the part that is satisfied with life. It stopped growing when I got hurt. And I realized that as a woman, nothing satisfied me. Nothing made me absolutely happy. Nothing made me fulfilled. It didn't matter the children I was having, the husband that I had, the friends and the family that was around me. It didn't matter. But I had to go to a place where I had to be okay with being alone for a season so that I will be able to heal. I will be able to actually acknowledge and stop avoiding and healing that little girl that was crying for such a long time. Listen, if you're having a hard time to figure out how these childhood wounds, listen, if you're having a hard time trying to figure out how these childhood wounds show up, let me give you some points here. A lot of times we don't recognize that control issue that we have going on is because we didn't have control of the things that happened to us when we were a kid. Those control issues are manifesting so that we could try to temporarily take claim and control over our life. But a lot of times we're just spiraling. A lot of times we're not really in control, but it's a method that our brain is trying to use to try to cope with the pain of the past. Listen, that control issue is not because you just like things in order. As I used to say, I like to be in control because I like things in order. Yes, there's a truth to that. But also, there's these control issues because I do not trust. I did not trust. And because of that, I had to control every issue, every process, everything. My children, I had to control everything because I needed to know what was going to happen at the end. I didn't like surprises because I can't control surprises, but I had to have things in order step by step and make sure I control the outcome of it so that I won't feel like I wasn't in control. Listen, this is the root. This control is a root to early childhood chaos. That chaos that we couldn't control. Listen, there was so much chaos in my household. There was so much chaos in my household as a little girl that I could remember. There was so much. And so when I got married, I tried to calm that chaos down. So I said, okay, you know what? We're not going to argue in front of the kids. Okay, you know what? We're not even going to argue at all. So what did I start doing? I started to control the issues in our marriage, and I started to become silent about it and let certain things pass and didn't really tackle or try to amend certain things because I didn't want my children to experience that chaos. And that didn't work at all, especially for someone like me who is a talker and likes to talk things out. It didn't work at all. And actually, it ended up manifesting another type of chaos in my life and another type of inconsistency in my life, which ended up leading to our divorce. Here's another one. People pleasing is a big one. I didn't really struggle with that because I think because so many things have happened to me as a child, I didn't trust people anyways, so I'm not gonna please you because you wasn't gonna do good by me. So what am I pleasing? You aren't gonna do good by me anyways. But I know a lot of people who struggle with people pleasing, and because they have this people pleasing mentality, they refuse to accomplish their destiny because they're worried about what people are thinking or if they will abandon somebody that they are currently pleasing. Listen, we learn from needing approval to feel love that we have to please the people we want love from. Let me think about it. I'll take it back. I had a form of people pleasing, or a form, but it wasn't to anybody. I think it was mostly to my ex-husband. I tried to do everything to please him specifically because I was struggling with that daddy hunger, that wanted to be seen, that wanted to be loved, that wanted to be held. And so I did everything for my ex-husband to try to please him no matter what. Guys, no matter what I did. And it didn't go well. It didn't go well at all. I realized in the marriage that, listen, I could not find love in him that will fill me. He didn't have the capacity for that. And actually, I was putting too much weight on him. I had to first love myself. I had to first feel worth within myself. I had to first be able to look in the mirror and say, Tanisha, you're beautiful. Tanisha, you're loved. Tanisha, all these things. And people will say it to me all the time. People will say, oh my God, you're such a beautiful girl. You're such a bold, you're such this, you're such that, and all these compliments. But because it didn't come from my husband, I didn't believe it. Crazy. But I had to learn that listen, the confidence that I needed wasn't from his lips. The confidence that I needed, the boldness that I needed, everything that I needed had to come from within. And that was a hard process to learn. I actually had to learn that within the marriage before the divorce ever came. And I thank God for it, because I couldn't put that much pressure on anybody. I don't care who it is in my life or who will come in my life. I have to first love me the same way my new husband have to first love him, because myself won't be able to fill all of his voids. Jesus could do it, guys. Only Jesus could do it. And there's some things that we need to go back and tell that little girl. Like I said to you, I had to say to her when she was trying to show up, I'm like, calm down, Tanisha. You're safe and you could do it. I ended up going where I needed to go. And I'm so glad, because, yeah. But, anyways, I had to realize that no matter how much I pleased him, no matter how much I did to try to go out my way for him to acknowledge that I am doing these things so that he could reciprocate, or there could be this exchange of love, will never work. And that could be if you're doing that with your parents, if you're doing that with a friend, if you're doing that with even a potential lover. It doesn't matter. It's not going to work, especially when you are not satisfying your own internal needs. It's not going to work. Let's go to another one. Fear from intimacy. It doesn't have to be the one you do with your husband, right? It doesn't have to be that. It could be with a friend. It could be with a parent. It could be with anyone. We have this platonic intimacy that we can have with anybody. As a matter of fact, you can even have that same intimacy with your lover without going to anything erotic, right? This erotic love. But I think that is something big, especially for in the season that I'm in now. I'm learning, right? I'm learning that I'm safe. And listen, these things are this fear of intimacy was born from betrayal, right? It was born from this lack of safety. So for instance, all my friends who dad used to tell them, hey, listen, I'm coming tomorrow, or I'm coming at 5 p.m., or I'm coming this weekend, and they never show up. That's betrayal. This repeated pattern that you keep saying that you're coming, and you don't show up. That is a form of betrayal. Or someone that you put your all into, your husband. You put your all into this husband, and he cheats on you. That's betrayal. That is betrayal. And so sometimes we fear this intimacy with anyone because you're anticipating betrayal. And let me tell you something. I had told my ex-husband, we were married for 15 years. So like 10 years in, 10 years in, I said to him that I realized I never totally gave him my heart. And it wasn't that I didn't love him. I loved him. When I tell you, I loved that man. He was my first and only love, right? But there was a piece of me that I couldn't give him, and that was the piece of intimacy. And at the time, I didn't have the vocabulary, I didn't have the understanding to express that to him. And I think I hurt his feelings by saying that, but that wasn't the thing. I wasn't trying to hurt him. I was just trying to try to figure out what was going on with my heart at the time, because I was going through that process of healing. And I came into the marriage expecting him to betray me, because that's what my dad always did. He always betrayed me. And so, what more can any man do? Especially when you have been REAP and essayed and stuff like that repeatedly, on top of it. That's another form of betrayal. Listen, when I came into this marriage as a young girl, my expectation was for my ex husband to betray me. My expectation was for us to eventually be divorced, because that was the outcome of every relationship that I had with a man. Every relationship. Or even if some man showed up, right? Because I didn't even have to have a relationship with any man for them to, at the time, see me and decide to do whatever. But listen, we have to recognize that there's some betrayals that went on, and many of the times it was not our fault. And sometimes we take ownership of some of these betrayals. So as I spoke about earlier, this 13-year-old girl, when everything happened, because at first I didn't realize that what was being done was not right, guys. I was so naive. And that same minister actually called me green. He called me naive. I was so, and I didn't even know what green is, because I'm Jamaican. So we don't say that somebody is green. You know, like, if you, well, we do say if we say somebody is green, it means that you smell. But anyways, he even noticed and recognized in the moment that I was naive, and he took advantage of that. And so it took a couple of years. It took a couple of years for me to realize, like, you're not supposed to do that. That's not supposed to happen. Those things are not supposed to be done. I don't even, whatever. And because I felt like, when I recognized that I was tricked, I was bamboozled, like, I felt dumb, and I took ownership of it. And that's probably why it bothers me the most, maybe. I don't know. Or it bothered me. It don't bother me anymore, but it bothered me the most in my healing process, or is it something that I always talk about? Because that was the first time I took ownership of something that I felt like I was old enough. I was 13. I should have known better. I should have did this. I shouldn't have allowed that. Blah, 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 blah. I took ownership of it. And we take ownership of these betrayal. And because we take ownership of the betrayal, we never let go of that ownership so that we could actually heal. So this is the time in the episode that I'm telling you, Dr. T is telling you, Tanisha, your sister girl, is telling you, let go. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. It wasn't your fault. No matter what happened, sometimes we just make stupid decisions. Yes, we do. But at the end of the day, let go of the ownership. Give it to God and heal, and heal this time for real. Let's go on to the next one. Listen, this one is a big one. This one is a big one. Okay, are you ready? This one is a big one. This one is difficulty trusting God. Sometimes we say we trust God, and in the moments of we want to hear from Him, we don't know what to do, the moments of confusion, the moments that we feel like there's something urgent on the line and we're not hearing from Him, those are moments that shows up that we don't trust God. We don't trust God. And this idea comes from us not having one strong father figures in our life, and also these patterns that has happened that model trust for us, model that, listen, we can't trust this adult, we can't trust this person, we can't, because they never showed up for us, they never held on to their word, or they hurt us, or they said things that wasn't right, and all these other stuff, things that was modeled for us as a child, from adults, from people that was higher than us, from people that was in authority. Now that we come under authority in God, we have to learn to trust Him. And a lot of time, this little girl is looking up to that big daddy God and is saying, I don't trust Him. And so we struggle in our faith. We struggle with our trust. We struggle with the seasons that we have to walk through the valley. And so because of that, we start walking around this mountain over and over and over. Because guess what? We're still trying to control our future. We still have not given our future to the author and the finisher of it, the one who writes the pages of our life. We're not giving it to him because we want to, like I said at the beginning, number one was we have control issues. And because we have control issues, we have trust issues because we, only we could know what will be best for the end of whatever situation it is. Listen, this is your notice to let go and trust God. Listen, God desires to heal the inner child in you. God doesn't overlook your inner pain. He invites you to bring it to Him. Healing is not about reliving your past, it's actually about redeeming it. God is trying to redeem you. Let me say it again. God is trying to redeem you. So don't be afraid to step back for a little bit and look. Hey, what happened when I was 5? What happened when I was 4? What happened when I was 9? What happened when I was 10? What happened? What did I feel when the divorce happened? What did I feel when whatever happened? Start to try to analyze those emotions so that you could actually step back for a little bit and redeem those feelings and tell the adult you that you you are safe now. You are okay now. And it's time for you to grow up. Little girl Tanisha, it's time for you to heal. Little girl Tanisha, it's okay. It's okay. You're okay. Tell yourself that. Whatever your name is, put your name in it and say, little girl, whatever your name is, you are safe. Jesus wants to sit in the room where your pain happened. He wants to sit there so that he could redeem it, so that he could hold you, so that he could mend you, so that he could heal you. Listen, not just in the church pews and not just in a place where you worship. God want to do that when you're home by yourself, laying in your bed. He wants to redeem you even when you're crying tears and wetting your pillows. He wants to redeem you when you're in your secret place praying, when you're in the shower crying and talking to him. He wants to redeem you. He wants to sit in that place. He wants to redeem you. Little girl Tanisha, it's okay to heal. Let's look at some steps to healing. Number one, we have to have awareness. We have to recognize emotional triggers and patterns as signals, not shame. If you need to listen to, if you don't know the totality of the definition of shame, go back and listen to the other video. Listen, we have to realize that we can't walk in the shame anymore. The shame of what happened. I can't be ashamed that I'm divorced. I can't be ashamed that whatever it is, list it out, because there's so much things that I could be ashamed of in my life. Okay, but I can't walk in that anymore. I have awareness that, listen, this thing that I keep doing all the time, the thing that I keep repeating, the cycles that I keep going through, is because I am not healed. So that should be a signal that say, be aware that this place in your life need to be healed. These little mantras that we keep saying, oh, I would never get married. Oh, I don't want to do this. Or I would never do this. Why are you saying that? Why are you saying that? There is a reason to why you're saying it. It's because that little girl is speaking within you. Number two, pray. I know people get tired of saying that, but listen, prayer heals a lot. I'm a witness to it. Prayer has shifted my life. Prayer is the place where I could go and hide and be for real, Tanisha. I don't have to be Dr. Tanisha Allen. I don't have to be prophetess. I don't have to be Miss Allen. I don't have to be anybody. I don't have to be mommy. I don't have to be provider. I could just go in and hide for that moments while I'm in prayer and worship with God. And one of the biggest things that I do a lot in prayer is ask God where whatever feeling is has started, to remind me, where did this feeling just start? Or where did this feeling first start? Where did it first start? Like I said, that feeling of me not trusting didn't just start when I entered into the marriage. It started as a little girl. I couldn't trust adults. Adults hurt children. Adults hurt people. So it didn't just start there, and I had to recognize it. And so It's fruitful to go into prayer and ask God, listen, Lord, remind me. Let a dream happen. Let a memory come back to me. Even in conversation, a lot of time I'm talking to my cousin, and there's things that I didn't remember, and she'll be like, "Why you never told me?" And it's because I didn't remember. I didn't remember to tell her, and probably at the time I was trying to hide it, and then it just got lost in the memories because my brain was trying to protect me, and I didn't remember. But those are the times of healing. And anytime a memory comes up that I didn't remember, a time where I felt hurt, a time where I felt rejected, a time where I felt abandoned, a time where I felt not seen, I know that that's a sign that God is reminding me, like, hey, you need to go back and heal this part of you. Number 3, forgiveness. Release those who hurt you, not to excuse them, but to set yourself free. I know we talk about this, you've probably heard it, that forgiveness is not for the person who hurt you. Forgiveness is actually for you. And as hard as that may seem to understand, it's absolutely true. And it's, as Christians, it's we have to it's right, it's mandatory for us to inherit the kingdom of God. We have to forgive. And it's not about, hey, listen, this person, I'm letting them go free. No, you're letting yourself go free. You're letting yourself go free, because God is going to judge them, but God is also going to judge you for your decision of not being able to forgive. How do you forgive? Or how do you know you forgive? I think that's the question that I ask. How do you know you forgive is when you could see somebody, when you could talk about a situation and it doesn't bring back those same pains, those same emotions, and those same thoughts. That's how you know you heal. How to heal? Go in prayer. Go in prayer and ask God to heal your heart. One of the things I say repeatedly in prayer, I'm always asking God to heal this heart. Give me a heart of flesh. Take away this heart of stone. Because daily things happen. Things are reminded to me. Life happens. And I could harden my heart and not know. And sometimes those people that has hurt you is because their heart is hardened. And sometimes they don't even know that they've even hurt you. Sometimes these people intentionally go out to hurt people. But sometimes, and we don't want to be like them. We don't want to be like the one we want to be persecuted. We want to make sure that our heart is always in right standing with God. And also that our heart is not changed or shifted from what God has originally created in us, right? We want to keep this heart that God has given us. So if you feel like you're too forgiving, if you feel like you're too loving, if you feel like you're too whatever, God has created you to be that. And don't allow pain to change that within you. Here's number, where we are, 4. Here's number 4, community. Healings happen in safe place. You need a safe place. And that's the reason why I come on here. And I try to come on here week after week to create a safe place for women, Christian women, women like you, so that we could have a safe place. So we could know that we could take that title off. We could take whatever it is off and know that we are safe to be vulnerable, to actually heal and pursue God in all your might, to pursue what everything that God has created you to be, and to inherit everything that He has given you here on earth. On earth, we don't have to wait till we get to heaven to walk on the street of gold, to feel joy, to feel peace. No, this, we have authority and dominion here on earth. And so as a child of God, as a kingdom citizen, I create that same kingdom of peace, that same atmosphere of peace around me, and my reality of whatever I speak shall be so, in Jesus' name. Right. And so whether you need therapy, whether you need mentorship, or find a spiritual covering, listen, find a spiritual covering. Not every pastor is out to get you. Sometimes we attract what our internal desires want. And so we end up going into those houses unless God is sending us, like God sent David into Saul's house, unless God is sending us. But not every pastor is out to get you. There are some good and whole pastors out there that is willing to cover you, that's willing to help you go through your spiritual journey. And last but not least, this is number 5, identity. Remind yourself that you are God's daughter. That's what I just said a minute ago. You are a kingdom citizen. You belong to the Most High God that owns and created everything here on earth. That your trauma is not your end product. You are not your hurt. You are not your pain, but you are the daughter of God who can be whole, can be healed, and can be everything that He has called you to be. Do you believe it? I believe it for you. Listen, I am calling you to a place of healing. We know that God is close to the brokenhearted. And if He's close to the brokenhearted, that means that He wants to know all the broken areas in your life. He wants you to invite Him in so that He could help you walk through those pain. God wants to save you from you. He wants to save that little girl. He wants to make sure that you are healing to your full capacity. So today I want you to come into this community to partner with God and partner with us as we go on this healing journey. I believe in you and I know that you could do it. Listen, my friend, heal that little girl within her. Wipe her tears so that you could be everything that God has called you to be. Listen, God bless you. I absolutely love you. And until next time, see you soon. Bye bye now.